Hey, it's ODB, the Lincoln Addict. Just want to hit you guys with a new video. As we go into the new year, I'm going to do my best with some of the new equipment that I have to do just a lot more content. So it'll make it a little bit easier, and I'll just post videos as when I can. I've seen some comments about, hey, I should have more views and I need to put out more content. So check this out. Right here is Kennedy Boulevard. I wanted to point that out because I'm on a little mission today, and I'm gonna possibly go over to Blair's Lair, as we call it. And I was over in this area, so I wanted to kind of just come down here. This road, as some of you know, was renamed after Kennedy visited here in '63. So it always kind of amazes me. There's people that live in Tampa, and they tend to forget that Kennedy did come here before his trip to Dallas. I think he technically was here on 11/18/63, and then I believe I've read, I don't think he went straight from here to Texas. I think he went back to Washington and then to Houston, and then of course to Dallas that same day. But this road, Kennedy Boulevard, was renamed, and I always forget the name. People ask me. We do the cruise. Right over here is actually a parking lot, and that is where we meet. We've actually made that the spot a couple years ago, because if you go down this road over here, there's a pretty nice building, and it's called the Lincoln Center. And we took some cool photos there 1 or 2 years in a row, and those folks don't want us there. I guess, there's potential for someone to get injured or whatever. I think they thought that we were actually going to have a car show there, and we were just meeting there. But regardless, this entire road right here is Kennedy Boulevard, and it was not Grand Central. I can't remember what it was named before. It was before my time, of course, but they did rename it, and that was part of the route that he took whenever he was here. My friend Sean from All About Los Angeles, he was recently in Florida, and he does a lot of kind of history type posts where it could be a movie, an album cover, just a famous photo of Elvis, Walt Disney, just different kind of pop culture stuff. And I took him downtown, and I guess I never really thought about it. There's a famous photo where Kennedy's in the limousine and he stands up, and that photo was taken right down in downtown Tampa. So we were able to go down to that exact spot and kind of line up based upon now where the Tampa Police Department's at. Back in those days it wasn't, but the building was there, and you can see how things have changed. And I'll try to insert that photo in to this video so you can you can see it. I like doing that. I got inspiration from a lady, Film Tourism, I believe is her Instagram name, and she goes all over the world and lines up stills or screenshots from movies, and I just think it's a cool thing. It's amazing sometimes where a film was made, you don't even realize it, or where history was made. So pretty cool stuff. We also, when we went to Orlando, we got a chance to go to the exact spot where Richard Nixon uttered the famous words, I am not a crook. So that was kind of cool. I never realized it took place at the Contemporary Hotel. There's some other folks out there like Adam the Woo and others that have, kind of documented that spot. But still, even when I watch someone else's video, for me, it's kind of like taking a photo. It's like you could go on Google and find a photo, but I'm a type of person that, like, if I'm at an event, I want to take my own photo. Like, I want to document that I was there. So that was kind of the premise. But anyways, when Sean was here from All About Los Angeles, he got a chance to do some Disney stuff. He went to Jacksonville. He actually went to Georgia, where some of the Forrest Gump stuff was done. And that was cool, So we did a few things around here, and it all leads back to where I just was at. Kennedy Boulevard and the reason why they changed the name of the road. So I jumped back on the Veterans Expressway. Clearwater is right this way. And, you know, it's funny, with videos, I have always used iPhone, I guess for the past, I don't know how many years I've used iPhone. And I use the iPhone to make a lot of my videos. But I do, over the years, I have used GoPros, and I have a couple of them. And I recently picked up a new one. It's just easier sometimes just to have a standalone device. It's similar to CDs, right? Most of us stream music. I know I do a lot. And, you know, from a streaming standpoint, your phone's always taken up. But recently I had put some CDs in my truck. And it was kind of nice that, like, when the phone rang, the music didn't stop. You know, if I had to do something else or leave a voicemail for someone, it wasn't like the music stopped. So it's kind of ironic how our phone does everything for us now, or allows us to do so much. But, you know, having this new GoPro, which I had the 7 prior, which I still use a good amount because I have a real cool little setup for it that was made by GoPro. I use that Karma grip. Great stabilization, but now they've kind of put that stabilization into these devices. But I say all that because I went from the 7, which again I still use, to this 10, which they've been highly advertising the last couple of years, trying to really, you know, sell their products. So anyways, I ended up with this GoPro 10, and it's just easier. Like, I would never think driving here that I would do a video, but I've got the 10 out GoPro, and I'm trying this thing out. But the other thing I wanted to say is, to get back into Lincoln talk, oftentimes people will comment and say, wow, I'm surprised your channel doesn't have more views. And I can tell you why it doesn't. And the bottom line is, I don't have a lot of content out there. So you'll see a lot of folks or videos that you watch online, you know, whether it's pool maintenance or stuff around the house. You know, these folks have dedicated a lot of time of putting content out there. Perfect example is our lifestyle podcast, right? That's the other podcast I do, and that takes up the lion's share of my time in terms of editing and content and, you know, posting every single week. But I say that I just recently hit 1,000 subscribers over there. You know, just north of that, maybe 1,020 or something to that effect. And it took a long time to get to 1,000, right? So you'd imagine you have to put out a lot of content. You can't just put out a video and then 6 months later put out another video. You can, but you're not going to grow in the way the algorithms are and the way YouTube works. It just, that's not going to be where growth is at. So I say all that because, you know, again, as I get into this new year, I'm going to be focusing on content. So whether I'm traveling, like I've done in the past when I go to see John Lyman out in stinking Lincoln, or I'm going to Clearwater, I'll try to document, you know, that trip, whether it be going to Lincoln Land, Old Lincoln Parts, Blair's Lair, you name it. If I'm in the car cruising, I'll document some of that. And I certainly thank everyone for the support. If you haven't, please consider subscribing to the channel. Leave a comment. That stuff does help. And definitely leave a thumbs up if nothing else. There's a couple videos out there that I've done, and obviously I'm getting better at editing. I use different programs. I have some high-end stuff that is sometimes a little frustrating because it's, you know, too many features, and then oftentimes I end up using a little bit lower-end stuff that I have access to that's just easier. And what I've learned is, don't overthink it, just get the content out. That's the main thing. Check this out though. Beautiful day in Florida. Right now, it's mid-70s, super nice. I mean, it's literally, I can't say a summer day. There's that little bit of hint of you know, just, I don't want to say a chill. 70s isn't chilly, but you know, we as Floridians can tell it's nice. It's winter for us. But being that today is 12/31, December 31st, we're on the verge of New Year's Day, so it is kind of crazy to me that it's not a little cooler. But I guess with that being said, I'll see when I get to Blair's. Maybe I'll whip out the GoPro and keep going and do a little bit of content. Blair is a great guy. Some of you have hit me up. Lincoln Addict Podcast at gmail.com is my email, or you can click the email link in my Instagram bio, which is Lincoln Addict. You can shoot me an email. Blair is old school, I'd say mid-60s, and you know, he kind of screens his calls to make sure that, you know, people that are reaching out to him, that they're serious about either restoration work or needing things done. He just doesn't really have the time to get on the phone and answer questions like, you know, a lot of professionals. So if you do need work, and it, you know, be for any year Lincoln, primarily 60s Lincolns, definitely reach out to me and I can get you Blair's information. You can leave him a voicemail and or shoot him an email, but voicemail is easier for him, and he will get back to you. You can see here I'm going over the bridge. For me, it's about it depends if there's traffic. There's no crazy backup today, so it's going to be about a 35-minute drive, probably 40-minute drive from my house. That could easily be an hour. But I say all that because, again, Blair's a good dude. He's been working on these cars over 40 years. I typically say 40 years, but he has reminded me his parents and grandparents, they had these type of cars, and it's by now it's probably since his teens, and if he's in his mid-60s, you can kind of do the math. It's been a long time. Chris Dunn in Lincoln Land, they are right by Blair's place, and Chris has been in business since, I believe the official date they use is 78, I believe. I've talked to Chris about it. You know, I always think like early 80s, you know, or 1980-ish, but 80 to 2020, you know, it's 40 years. So, you know, these guys, Blair and Chris, have known each other a long time, and they've been doing this stuff a long time. Of course, Herb is over here, Old Lincoln Parts as well. He's not that far. We kind of call it the Lincoln Bermuda Triangle. And then, oh, by the way, John Cashman retired, I think it was technically this year, I think, or was it 2020? It's been a blur. But John Cashman also used to call Florida his home. Lakeland, Tampa, Clearwater-ish area. I do believe his parents, their place was technically in Lakeland, I believe. And there's tons of stories from Blair and Chris, and, you know, the old school days when these cars were kind of, you know, throwaway cars almost to a certain extent. I mean, if you think about 1978, you know, a 64 Lincoln was only 14, 15 years old, you know, which is insane. And the cars, you know, weren't really worth much, especially with the way gas prices were in that era and things starting to downscale. But a lot of history here, and what I really need to do is tap into that. I've mentioned to Chris about having him on. I do have some audio I need to finish. I don't know if I'll finish it tonight or tomorrow, but I need to get that episode out. A gentleman by the name of Mark that recently had his car at Lincoln Land for 2 years. He's in the Lincoln Forum as well. He's a great guy. Talked to him several times, and just loves these cars as much as we all do. So I'm going to stop rambling. I don't know how long this video has been so far, but I'm definitely loving the new GoPro, and hopefully it will give me some of the motivation that I need to get out more content. I do also have access to a lot of new recording equipment. That's going to make it easier if I do go to an event. Primarily with OLP, I can do on-site audio even easier than having to lug all of the microphones and all that stuff. But again, as I go to some of these shop tours, it'll also give me access to bring in some really good audio, or bring it home, so to speak, and be able to just record the audio easier, you know, instead of, again, having, the tough thing is you got to load up all your equipment, and then you have to get there, and then you have to unpack it and plug it all in and do this and set it up. and hold them, you know, the microphones I have are professional stuff, but it's like you got to kind of hold them close, and if you don't, then it's more editing and trying to clean up the audio. So again, with the newer stuff that I got, it's going to make that stuff even easier, which will build upon the video content here. So that being said, probably a good time to wrap it up. I've just crossed over the bridge, so you got a chance to see about how long it takes to get. This is technically, I think we all refer to it as 60. But once I get across here, I got another 10 or 15 minutes and I'll be in this spot. So, thanks for watching. And we'll see if we're going to continue this video or if we'll just make a part 2. Take care, everyone. Peace. All right, so quick drive through here. These are some of the cars out front. Mostly some that are just recently received over at Lincoln Land. Kind of get a chance to see there. It's got the Lincoln Addict sticker on the front windshield. I think Teresa said one time back in the day a car was idling, probably back in the 80s. It shifted into gear and it went across. I think she said it either hit this wall or that wall over there. Just another public service announcement that you can't leave your car idling. These cars definitely have to have the steering columns rebuilt. So you kind of see there some of the cars. Good times. So, not sure. I think Blair and those guys are done for the day, so I'm gonna give a few people a call and see where I'm going next. All right, so Lincoln Land, I knew they were closed. I think Blair and Teresa are finished for the day. So Blair and Teresa, they're kind of right down this road here, the backside. Lincoln Land's down the road I just came from. You just saw that. And then over here, which I'm not going to go down there, but right there is Hercules. You can go down there, and that's where Old Lincoln Parks is at. So, looks like I'll go to Chris's house and hang out a little bit, and just say hello to him before I head back home. And looks like I'm only going to be driving, I think, about a few miles from here. That's it. All right, everyone. Yo, so I went by Chris Dunn's, and of course when I go to his house, I'm not gonna be like, yo, can I record what's going on here? Chris is such a great guy from Lincoln Land. Got a chance to hang out and see some of his, you know, his stuff. Most of it I had seen, some of it I hadn't. Got a chance to look at some of the verts. Got a chance to look at some of the parts. Man, the guy is so organized when it comes to photos and content. He did confirm in 78 is technically when the business started. And the awesome thing is he had the foresight to take a ton of photos back in those days. And he has them all by like month, year, and owner slash, you know, customer. It's truly amazing. I mean, some of the stuff that he showed me, like little trinkets from dealerships and catalogs I had never seen. Some stuff I had seen maybe like online, the Lincoln Forum or eBay, but never in person, and it just was freaking awesome. Like Chris is, like I said, he's just truly, man, there's possibly nobody else that's got as much as he does when you combine his personal collection stuff, parts, cars, and then on top of that, oh, by the way, Lincoln Land, again, open since 78. Truly awesome stuff. So I had just a blast. Really feel blessed to be able to know him. You know, Tony and I became good friends with him. Tony knows Chris probably even better than I do, you know, being that Tony gets a chance to spend more time over there. But, man, the amount of stuff that he's amassed over his lifetime, Lincoln related, primarily Lincoln. I mean, there's Ford stuff, there's Country Squire, there's some wagon, you know, Country Squire type stuff. But, I mean, overall, dude, it is insane. So, one day I hope to be able to show, you know, a little glimpse of it. But, you know, got a chance to hang out a little bit. Like I said earlier, it's New Year's Eve. Probably going to continue this video. I think when I stopped recording earlier, it was like 15 minutes. So maybe bring it to 20, 25 max, and then, you know, call it quits. Some of you guys will appreciate, you know, the content, me just talking. Others will probably turn it off, you know, earlier. But like I said, you gotta put the content out there. If you've got a channel or a passion with whatever you do, and you're looking to increase viewers or content or you know, subscribers, however you want to spin it, you got to put content out there. So that's what I'm doing. But Blair and Teresa, like I said, I think they probably worked kind of an earlier shift today, which, you know, rightfully so. Many of us, including myself, I'm actually off today. It's technically an observed holiday, since the holiday, the first in the U.S., is you know, a government holiday. So it's observed on a business day, which is today, February 31st, 2021. So hopefully next year is a better year for us. But one of the things that Chris showed me is something that I had an opportunity to buy before. It's not a car, it's not a part, but I had an opportunity to buy it, and we were close on the price, but I was like, I don't need it. Well, Chris happened to have one of those items, and I got a chance to see it in person, and I was like, wow, I gotta have it. So I'm hoping I can add this item to the collection soon, and that would allow for me to share it with everyone here and via social media through video content. So I'm working on that. So that'll be hopefully a new addition to the Lincoln portfolio, you know, stuff that sits on a shelf. So we'll see. But probably going to get this out on the 1st, and I'm just mentioning that only because it's getting later in the day, and I still need to edit the next episode of the podcast, which again, I said earlier, was Mark, and Mark is from the Carolinas, great guy, and I need to get that episode out. That episode, if all goes well, it'll post on 1/1/2022. That way I can start the year fresh and, you know, kind of kick in the high gear, so to speak. And I'm looking forward to that. So if all goes well, I guess I'll have this out, this video, and Mark's stuff the same day. We shall see. I am officially back to the bridge. So the way I come down that road there, I basically cut over to here, hang this left, and when I stopped recording earlier, when I had just got off the bridge, that is right up to the left here. So that's where I am headed, and I'll be home in, I don't know, 25 minutes or so. But again, thank you guys so much, all the ladies, the dudes, everybody out there that listens. Make sure you subscribe, and also check out Lincoln Addict on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Those are primarily the outlets. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on really Snapchat in terms of Lincoln Addict. I mean, 2 is enough for me, and then you add in YouTube, and then you add in a podcast. That's 4. That's more than enough. That's more than I can handle. So thanks again to Chris Dunn, Lincoln Land owner, for the, you know, chopping it up today. You know, kicking back a few minutes, talking Lincoln stuff, history. It's always welcomed. Everybody, here's to 2022. Peace.